Okay. Really important to read those questions carefully. Very often, a student has not done this and they have misunderstood the question. Okay, if you don't understand the question, you won't be able to give the correct answer. It is as simple as that. You don't give the correct answer, you won't get a mark for that question. You do this often, your marks are going to be below that 25, that objective. Remember, it's common for one possible answer to be followed by a speaker where they change their mind once or even twice. Okay, this is quite true in the chart and the table completion. For example, when a person's name is spelled, they may spell it one way and then they may change their mind and then correct themselves. So you need to listen carefully for when the speakers are correcting themselves. So you may write down one answer, listen to a second option, which is the correct answer. You'll need to change your answer. So this means you have to be listening at all times. Even if you think you know the answer, you need to continue listening, which is when you're looking at those three skills, the reading, the writing, and the listening. Most of the time, the questions are listed in sequence. So you're listening, you answer question 1. You listen, you answer question 2. Occasionally, this is not done. They're not in sequence. So this is why you need to read the questions carefully. So you need to be having 2, 3, or even 4 questions in your eye range at one time to make sure that you can listen for that information. Answer every question. No answer means no mark. Okay, if you're not sure, guess. You may be correct. Okay, you can use the question to help you and to predict the answer that it should be. That's why before, in one of your listening skills, trying to predict the answer or the form of the answer will help you, because if you can't hear the word, then logically you might be able to guess what that word should be. If you can do that, write it down. Okay, you may be correct. Understand the importance of making sure you transfer those answers correctly at the end of the listening exam. You'll have 10 minutes to do this. Okay, if you transfer them incorrectly, it won't match and you'll have an incorrect answer. I had a student once who actually transferred all the answers to the booklet, but they were out of sequence. So the answer for 1 was in 2, the answer for 2 was in 3, etc. If you do this, they will all be wrong. The examiner is not going to look to see whether you've done a mistake when transferring. They're just going to look question 2 and what the answer is. And the academic and general listening tests, they're the same. Okay, there's no difference what type of IELTS exam you're taking. The listening part will be the same for both candidates. Right, now we're going to look at your listening skills. So in preparation for your test, there is a number of different skills that you can develop. Okay, this will help you with the listening part of your IELTS exam. Situations. Okay, by reading questions, you can establish the situation, okay, which you're going to listen about. So you get to look at the questions first. You read these and then you decide the situation. Are they in a hotel? Are they going on a picnic? Is it 2 friends talking? What this will do is it will prompt situational vocabulary. So the vocabulary that we use when at a hotel, you can then bring to the front of your mind. And so you're thinking about the words that you might be listening for. Accuracy, okay, there's a lot of misperceptions of English words and numbers. Pay attention to these. Many students confuse the teens. It's 13, 30, 19, 90, okay, and the same with the other ones. The word pronunciation, you need to practice orally, okay, so you can ask your tutor to help you with this, or you can find something on the internet where you can listen to these numbers. You then practice them orally so you're very clear as to the pronunciation of those words. Dates, okay, another thing that students often confuse are days and days. There's only 7 days. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if a question asks for a day, then it must be one of those options. Okay, you've got a chance out of 7 of being correct. A date, however, will be a day number and a month perhaps the year as well. So 5/11/78. Be careful, days and dates, okay? You need to listen to make sure you're putting in the correct answer. On the listen, it might give you the day and the date, but if the question just wants the day, that's all you have to write. Make sure you write the day and not the date, or the other way round. Spelling. Some words, when you're listening on the audio material, they are going to be spelled, okay? It's very common for names. So, for example, my name's Susan. You would hear S-U-S-A-N. In that situation, the spelling that you write has to be exact. If it's not, you will not get the mark. Description. Some questions for the listening are going to be in a diagram. So you'll see a diagram and you have to listen for what people talk about. Lots of words of descriptions will be used here. Do you remember what words we use to describe things? Of course, it's your adjectives, okay? So these are the type of words that you would need to be listening for. False leads. This is quite common, okay? They almost always include a false lead. So we've mentioned this before. It's where a speaker gives a possible answer and then another speaker corrects that answer, okay? So you need to be listening for this correcting of answers to decide what is the correct answer that you're listening for. It could be speaker 1 gives an answer, speaker 2 corrects, but then speaker 1 reconfirms their answer. So it's actually speaker 1 is the answer that you're listening for. Be very careful with this, okay? Be listening at all times. Okay, let's look at the different question types. I'll give you a few seconds. Can you think about the different question types that you will hear in an IELTS listening exam? Okay, here are the different question types. Did you manage to get any of those? So we have a chart, a table completion, short answer questions, a sentence completion, multiple choice question, a diagram labelling, true or false, gap fill and matching. It might be a good idea to write these down. We're going to look at these different question types now so you understand what they are. And then at the end of this lesson, you're going to have a listening practice test to do. So try and identify the question type that is in that particular test at the end and use these techniques to help you. A chart and a table completion. This is when you're expected to complete gaps in a chart or table, okay? You might have a number of words in which to use it. So you're given a table, okay, you might have to complete what day it is, what date it is, what the name is, what the reason is. Short answer questions. This is called that because of the limited number of words that are needed for the answer. It's usually a maximum of 3, but sometimes it can be more and sometimes it can be less. So your answer has to be no more than 3 words. Sometimes it's different, okay, so again you need to listen or you need to read the question very carefully for the number of words that you should give. Have a look at the slide for other information. We have sentence completion, okay, these are also called short answer questions. The difference with this one is that correct grammar is essential. So you need to check the grammar form. You can do this, okay, by looking at the words before and after the gap. We've looked at different vocabulary. If there's an A before the gap, you know that you're looking for a noun, okay? If there's an adjective, you're looking for a noun. An adverb, you're looking for a noun. This is going to help you with your choice of words that you should be listening for. Multiple choice questions, okay? This is you need to establish keywords in the question, so you need to highlight those keywords and try and match them with an appropriate answer. It might be exact words or more probably it's going to be synonyms. So you highlight those keywords and then you listen for those synonyms. Diagram labelling, okay? This is not as popular as the other questions, but it may ask you. So you're given a diagram and then you need to label this. Remember, this is going to be quite descriptive language that you're listening for here. True and false questions. This is also not so common in the listening, okay, but it may appear. Again, highlight those key words to help you focus on the text that you should be listening for. Have a look at the slide. There's important features that you need to focus on. So that's negatives and comparisons in the questions. This could have an impact on your answer. So just be careful of these if you have a true or false question type. Gap fill, okay, several forms, okay. Can be note taking in a table form, or it could be a general gap fill in a brief summary of a sentence completion, okay. So you might be given a summary, and then those individual sentences, they have gaps. You have to listen for the words to complete them. Correct grammar is essential here because you're listening for the words, okay? So again, check the words before and after the gap to help you to think about what words you should be listening for. Matching. Okay, again, very rare, okay, but you might have it, so you need to be aware that this does exist. Look for keywords in those questions, and then you need to match the data, okay? It's very simple. Usually you're matching sentences with certain speakers. So they give you a sentence and you have to tell us which speaker, A, B, C, D or E, is talking about those sentences. So you're really listening for keywords here. Right, I've given you a lot of information, okay? We've looked at the different question types, we've looked at different listening skills. It's now your turn to put it into practice, okay? For the remainder of this lesson, you're going to be given a listening practice, and I want you to try and put these different skills into practice now, okay? The more listening practices you can do, the better it will be for your ears, okay? So I wish you good luck, and I'll see you next time.